Hi, I'm Ann Edwards and welcome to Star Switch Up TV. We are on our show GE13 Showdown. When Chinese voters deserted the Barisan National in the 2008 general election, now many wondered if MCA was still relevant. Now 5 years on, reports indicate that Chinese support for the BN has stagnated, or some say decreased. With the showdown just around the corner, it is only apt that the thought on the Chinese factor be given a little discussion and of course an insight into this topic. With me is Ms. Fui Kay Sung, who is Chief Executive Officer, CEO of Centre for Strategic Engagement or CENS, and you are also the advisor to MCA's think tank, the Institute of Strategic Analysis and Policy Research, which is in CEP. Welcome to our show.
Thank you, thank you, Anne. Thank you.
Our first question, Chinese sentiment is said to be pro-Pakatan. What is the impact on GE13, Ms. Sung?
Okay, I think as you have actually stated it in your preamble, is that the support for the Barisan has stagnated, and in fact I would actually put it a little bit stronger, and it has actually decreased. I think across the board, I think most analysts would agree that the support has fallen from probably about 35% to probably now about 20-odd%. Now, however, I think the basic assumption is that automatically, if you are actually not in support of BN, so therefore you're in support of Pakatan.
That's right.
But that is actually not necessarily the case. I mean, according to our surveys and a lot of our feedback, there is actually a significant proportion of fence-sitters, and this is where the real battleground is going to be. In this real general elections. Now, who are these fence-sitters? You know, there's a lot of micro-targeting, I think, on both sides of the fence. Pakatan's been trying to woo the women votes, the younger voters, you know, younger women, women votes. And I think likewise with the BN also have been, you know, using the BRIM, you know,
That's
trying
right.
to woo the very targeted income groups and so on and so forth. So I think the battle is really very much neck to neck as far as
Very
the fence
tight,
is very tight as far as the fence-sitters are concerned.
Okay,
yeah.
now Ms. Sung, with only 45 Chinese majority seats out of 222, will the Chinese actually vote themselves out of government?
Well, you see, the thing is that what people don't understand is that, or maybe they don't look at things in a larger perspective, is that out of the 45 seats, that most of it are already with the opposition. So it is, you know, out of, I would say, like 12 to 15 seats out of the 200 and out of the 45 seats, which Barisan has never won since independence. So I think really the battleground is not that 45 Chinese seats that we're looking at. We're looking at about 60-odd seats, which are the mixed seats, right?
This is considered mixed seats.
Mixed seats which were actually lost to Pakatan and all the ones that Barisan is trying to retain. So those are the ones that actually are in play, not the 45 Chinese seats. So this whole argument about whether MCA is going to be relevant or not, actually the whole game has already changed. It's actually beyond, you know, this whole focus on MCA, whether they're able to retain seats in parliament or in government, and what will happen if they get less than 15 seats. I think the argument has just gone way beyond that already. You know, people are actually looking forward and say, okay, what is the next thing that will happen to Barisan as a whole, you know, as a coalition, rather than focusing on MCA per se, or Gerakan, you know, how many seats, or MIC or whatever. I think the coalition itself, and we're looking at actually now, you know, how to win back some of the marginal seats from some of the weaker parties in the opposition.
Okay, because a lot of people are asking, how is MCA going to perform? Are they going to retain your 15 seats? You know, those are the questions.
I think the whole new package for, as you say, you know, the new deal. I think the president of MCA has actually talked about this a couple of years ago. Is the ETPA, is the transformation we're talking about? You know, you know, we as a nation we need to move on. Okay, it's beyond what it is. Not about MCA per se. It is the whole coalition and the whole government, the whole issue of governing. You know, who. And it's quite sad, I suppose. You know, in the Chinese are looking, okay, who can govern better, or maybe who is governing worse. It is not the better of the two, but it's actually who is the better of the worst. It's not a very nice choice, which is why it accounts for the large block offence it is.
Yes, we'll take a short commercial break. We'll be right back on GE13, The Showdown, with Ms. Fui Kay Soong. Stay with us. Well, back on GE13, The Showdown, we've been talking to Ms. Fui Kay Soong, who is CEO of SENSE, Centre for Strategic Engagement, and also advisor to MCA's think tank in SEP. Ms. Soong, just before the commercial break, we were talking a lot about where are the votes going to, and you're saying that there are a lot of fence-sitters, in fact, up to 50%. Yeah,
perhaps, yeah,
and
could be up to 50%.
Could be up to 50%.
According to the latest University Malaya survey. It could be up to about 50%.
And as far as capturing this set of voters, we understand that about 2 years ago, MCA did launch this new deal, which is to give the nation a more fair, democratic, transparent sort of setting, and this would be the landscape of what Malaysia is all about
going forward.
Yes, be attractive to voters.
Right.
Ms. Soong.
I think the whole new deal is, I think in a way, it's MCA's way of reiterating the Najib administration's transformation deal. I mean, obviously, one party cannot just move policies on its own, and bring the nation to a certain level without, the government machinery. So the backing that is on the back of the ETP and the GTP, the transformation that the whole Najib administration has been emphasizing on, and it really is work in progress. I mean, what is we're not saying that the new deal is what you will feel now, but given the mandate, that is the new deal for the people, everyone in Malaysia, including Sabah and Sarawak. A fairer deal, and I think we're seeing that coming in, with the Najib administration. So
did the people actually bite this?
I think a lot has been drowned by a kind of unfortunately, it's really a large part of what MCA is trying to promote is being drowned by a lot of very irrational anger. There's certainly a lot of anger out there, driven by a sense of wanting to, maybe a sense of justice, a sense of some the policies that we feel after so many decades that are very maybe incriminating and also discriminating at the same time. So these are kind of things that there are very serious issues, and these are the kind of things that needs to be looked at.
Built-up sentiment,
a lot of built-up anger, and it has come to a point where it's become very, it has become very irrational.
So now, what do the Chinese want?
Well, I think what they're looking at is that all this while they have looked to MCA and Gerakan as the political connector to the powers to be, simply because I think the Chinese are very realistic, and I think if Lee Kuan Yew was not able to do it in 1963, I really don't think DAP will be able to do it now. I think people do realize that. But however, that venting of the anger, it feels good, because I think for the first time they're able to bring this kind of sentiment out in the open without fear or favor. I think the democratic landscape, and I think the political maturity of the Malaysian politics has come to a level where I think people are open to that sort of debate. I mean, I think both even the other ethnic groups are willing to come out to discuss such so-called deemed to be in the past sensitive matters.
That's right.
After 22 years of Mahajirism, I think that kind of pressure cooker is just kind of people are wanting to let off steam.
Right. So
now,
just
what do they want? Yeah. So what do they want? I think they're looking for a new political connector that can actually, help me voice those.
And coming back to it, is MCA still relevant? And what are their chances? Just very quickly.
Their chances, I think, around about 15 seats is something that we will see. I think it's very difficult because on the ground they have to work very, very hard, and I think they are working very hard. I mean, I've seen them working very hard for the last 3-4 years. So let's see. Let's hope that it's going to come into fruition.
Yes.
And we will see who's going to be in Putrajaya by the end of it.
Okay. So your prediction, elections?
137 seats, plus or minus 5% up or down.
There we go. Okay. Thank you so much.
I'm willing to put my money on it.
Okay. We'll bring her right back on this show.
Sure, we'll do. Of course.
After the elections. Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Sung. My lovely guest, Ms. Phui Kay Sung, who is CEO of SENSE and also advisor to my MCA's think tank INSEP. Thank you so much for your views and also your attention on GE13, the Showdown. I'm Anne Edwards. Thank you.